Okay, I want to start today with a little mental exercise. It's
Mhm.
a cliche, I know, but bear with me. If I say the words corporate headquarters or premium office space, what's the immediate image that pops into your head? Just, close your eyes for a second. What do you see?
I think I know where most people go with this. It's
Ah,
almost always vertical,
mhm.
glass, steel, maybe one of those elevators that makes your ears pop.
Right.
You're probably picturing a skyline view, maybe looking down at a traffic jam in a capital city. It's a very specific, almost sterile aesthetic.
Exactly. It's the downtown skyscraper. But today, we're going to look at a project that, well, it completely dismantles that image. Because what if I told you the new face of the premium office isn't in a city center at all? What if it's tucked inside a Japanese-style community mall surrounded by bamboo architecture and fake cherry blossoms?
And crucially, it's located in a coastal province that's famous for deep-sea ports and shipping containers, not stock markets.
Precisely. It sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? But today we are unpacking a really fascinating development in Thailand that challenges how we think about work. We're doing a deep dive into the launch of a new Regus premium flexible workspace in Chonburi. And before you assume this is just some dry real estate update, stick around.
Please do. Because this isn't really about a building. This is a story about the Eastern Economic Corridor, or the EEC. It's about the massive flood of foreign investment coming into Southeast Asia and how the logistics of the supply chain are actually changing where human beings sit at desks.
We've come through reports on synergy spaces, we've got data from IWG, and all the details of the J Park Sriracha development to figure out why a global office giant is planting a flag in a Japanese village an hour and a half outside of Bangkok.
And the answer really matters. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a logistics manager, or, just someone interested in how our cities are evolving, this is a signal of a much bigger shift.
So let's start with the visual, the where. Because when I first looked at the source material for this, I honestly thought I was looking at a travel brochure for Kyoto.
It is deceptive, isn't it?
Mm.
This is J Park Sriracha Nihon Mura.
Nihon Mura. That translates to Japanese village.
Right. And they haven't done this halfway. This is a community mall, but it's designed to replicate the architecture and the whole atmosphere of a traditional Japanese town from, say, the late Edo period. You've got the tiled roofs, the wooden lattice work, the gardens.
It's basically a theme park.
In a sense, yes. It's a lifestyle destination. People go there to eat authentic ramen, visit a drugstore, maybe take some photos for social media.
Okay, and this is where I get a bit skeptical because we're talking about a serious business environment here. If I'm a high-level consultant or a logistics auditor, do I really want to be holding a board meeting next to a place selling matcha soft serve? It feels a bit
Uh,
unprofessional, maybe.
I think that's the initial reaction for a lot of people. But that's where the partnership comes in. This isn't just a room above a shop. This is a partnership between Synergy Spaces. They're a subsidiary of the Saha Group, which is a massive industrial conglomerate in Thailand,
A huge player.
and IWG, the parent company of Regus.
So they aren't just throwing a few tables in a spare room.
Far from it. Once you cross the threshold into the office space itself, which is in the Phase 2 Newtown zone, the entire environment shifts. The source material breaks down the specs, and they are, legitimate corporate standard.
Walk us through that hardware. What are we actually talking about in terms of square footage?
We're looking at 555 square meters of premium space. Inside that, they've fitted in 120 workstations. But what's interesting is the configuration. It's not just a giant, noisy co-working hall.
Which is the nightmare scenario for anyone trying to do actual focused work.
Exactly. They built in private offices designed for specific team sizes, so ranging from 2 people up to 8 people. Plus, you have a business lounge, professional reception services, and fully equipped meeting rooms.
So physically, once you are inside, it's a Regus. It looks and functions like a proper headquarters.
Precisely. It's the corporate headquarters experience just dropped into a cultural lifestyle destination.
Okay, I want to push on that lifestyle aspect a bit more. The source material talks a lot about the Japanese ambiance being a selling point. Is that just marketing fluff? Or is there actually a benefit to working in a fake village?
Well, think about the alternative.
Yeah.
And to understand the alternative, you have to understand the region. We're talking about Chonburi. This is an industrial heartland.
Right. Factories, warehouses, trucks.
Usually, if you're working in an industrial zone, your office is grim. You're in a portable cabin on a construction site, or you're in a windowless room inside a massive distribution center. You look out the window and you see concrete and smog.
It's functional, but it's soul-crushing.
It is, and it's isolating.
Yeah.
What Regus and J Park are betting on here is that the environment matters. For retention, for mental health. The source explicitly calls it an inspiring environment for productivity and creativity.
So the idea is you finish a stressful negotiation about shipping rates, and instead of walking out into a dusty parking lot, you walk out into a lantern-lit village. You can get a decent lunch, you can actually decompress.
Exactly. It's the work-life blend executed in bricks and mortar. It transforms a business trip to an industrial zone from something you dread into something that's actually, manageable.
But let's pivot to the why, because nice architecture is great, but companies don't rent 120 workstations just because the roof tiles look pretty. There has to be a hard business case here. Why Chonburi? Why now?
You cannot understand this office launch without understanding the acronym we mentioned at the top,
Yeah.
the EEC.
The Eastern Economic Corridor. I feel like I see this in every business newsletter about Southeast Asia, but break it down for us. What is it actually?
The EEC is the Thai government's flagship initiative. It's a massive development plan covering 3 provinces, Chonburi, Rayong, and Chachoengsao. The goal is to transform this entire coastal strip into the leading economic zone in ASEAN.
So this is where the money's going.
It's where the infrastructure is going. They are building high-speed rails, expanding airports, upgrading ports. The focus is on what they call S-curve industries, next-gen auto, smart electronics, aviation, robotics.
Okay, so this is where the factories of the future are being built.
Correct. And that brings us to the location strategy of this specific Regis office. It is strategically placed near the motorway, but more importantly, it is near Lam Chabon Port and the Sriracha Industrial Zone.
Lam Chabong is the big one, right? That's the main deep sea port for all of Thailand.
It's the gateway. Almost everything coming in or going out of industrial Thailand passes through there. Now, put yourself in the shoes of a foreign entrepreneur or a manager at a multinational.
Okay, I'm role-playing. I'm a supply chain director from, let's say, Germany.
Right. You're importing heavy machinery through Lam Chabong. You are setting up a manufacturing plant in Sriracha to export electronics. Historically, where was your office?
Bangkok? The capital? That's where the good hotels are? That's where the internet is fast?
Exactly. Your headquarters was in a shiny tower in Bangkok. That's where the Class A offices were. But your factory, your goods, your actual operations are 2 hours away in Chonburi.
And that drive. I've done that drive. With traffic, that is not a fun 2 hours.
It's a nightmare. It's friction. You are either commuting 4 hours a day round trip, wasting huge amounts of productivity, or you're sending your executives to stay in local hotels in Chonburi that might not have reliable Wi-Fi, no printer, no meeting space.
So you're holding strategy meetings in a hotel lobby with a noisy coffee machine in the background.
Exactly. It's unprofessional and inefficient. This Regis launch is basically saying, stop the commute. Put your headquarters where your business actually happens.
It's bringing the boardroom to the supply chain.
That is the perfect way to phrase it. The text specifically mentions the target audience includes entrepreneurs and is there to support increasing foreign investment. These aren't digital nomads working on their travel blogs. These are people managing complex industrial operations who need to be on the ground.
But tell me this, if these companies are so big, why don't they just build their own offices? If I'm building a $100 million factory, why not just add a nice office wing?
That's a great question, and it comes down to 2 things. Speed and CapEx.
Capital expenditure.
Right. If you are a foreign company entering the market, do you want to sink millions of dollars into building a concrete office block on your factory land before you've even sold your first widget?
Probably not. You want to be lean.
You want agility. You want OpEx operating expenditure. You want to pay a monthly fee for a premium office that is already furnished, has the internet set up, has a receptionist, and is ready today.
It completely de-risks the entry.
Exactly. If your project is a 6-month setup phase, you rent for 6 months. If you need to scale up from a team of 2 to a team of 20, you can do that instantly without breaking ground on a new building. That flexibility is what Regis sells, and the EEC is the perfect environment for it because things move so fast there.
Now, theories are great, and the logic holds up, but I'm a data guy. I want to know if this is actually working in the real world. Is anyone actually renting these desks in the fake Japanese village, or is it a ghost town?
This is the part of the report that actually made me sit up and take notice. This facility hasn't even fully ramped up yet, in terms of public awareness.
Okay.
But according to Mr. Thidawat Thanapornithanan, he's the country manager for IWG in Thailand, they have already secured 30% occupancy for 2025.
Wait, 30% pre-launch?
Essentially, yes.
Is that Is that good?
In the commercial real estate world, specifically for a new location outside a capital city, that is a very, very strong number. Usually you open the doors and spend the first year clawing your way to 20 or 30%. To start there suggests massive pent-up demand.
It validates the hypothesis, doesn't it? It proves that these companies were just starving for a proper workspace.
Absolutely. It tells us that the demand was already there. The supply just hadn't caught up. And look at the projections. They expect to hit 80% occupancy by 2026.
That is remarkably fast stabilization.
It is. And I think we need to circle back to the location to explain why it's filling up so fast. We talked about Sriracha being industrial, but there's a specific demographic detail we missed.
What's that?
Sriracha is often called Little Osaka.
Oh, really?
Yes, it has one of the highest concentrations of Japanese expats in Thailand outside of Bangkok. A lot of the heavy industry in the EEC is Japanese investment-driven automotive electronics.
Ah, so the Japanese theme of the mall, it's not just for tourists, it's for the people who actually live and work there.
Correct. It's catering to the managers and the engineers living there. It makes them feel at home.
That makes the retention argument even stronger. If I have to convince a senior engineer to move from Tokyo to Chonburi for 2 years, having an office in J-Park makes that conversation a lot easier.
We're not sending you to the middle of nowhere. We're sending you to a place with your favorite restaurants, a pharmacy you recognize, and a high-tech office. It's a powerful tool for talent attraction.
So we've established the local success story, but I want to zoom out to the corporate level. We mentioned IWG as the partner here. Who are they exactly? I feel like I see their brands everywhere. Regus, Spaces, HQ.
They are the 800-pound gorilla of this industry. They are the world's largest provider of hybrid work solutions. We're talking about a global scale that is hard to wrap your head around. Approximately 4,000 locations
4,000.
in 1,200 cities across 120 countries.
That's a massive network.
And that network is their value proposition. If you get a membership for this office in Chonburi, you aren't just renting a desk in Chonburi. You're plugging into a system. You can go to Bangkok for a meeting and use a lounge there. You can fly to London or Singapore or New York and access a workspace.
It puts Chonburi on the map, literally. It connects a provincial industrial zone to the global grid of commerce.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It legitimizes the location. When a brand like Regus opens there, it signals to the international community, this is a place where serious business is done.
And it sounds like this isn't a one-off experiment for the local partner, Synergy Spaces, either.
No, they are doubling down. The report mentions that Synergy Spaces has already announced more expansion plans with IWG.
What's next on their list?
They're scheduled to open a Spaces location. Now, Spaces is another IWG brand. It tends to be a bit more creative, a bit more community-focused than the traditional Regus, which is more corporate.
And where is that one going? Back to the EEC?
This one is going to Kingbridge Tower in Bangkok's Rama III area, opening in April 2025.
Rama III is interesting. It's not the traditional CBD like Siloam or Sukhumvit, but it is a major artery.
It just reinforces the trend we're seeing, decentralization. It's not just about moving out of Bangkok. It's about moving out of the center of Bangkok. It's about putting offices closer to where people live or closer to specific transport links, rather than forcing everyone to converge on the same 3 square miles of downtown real estate.
It's the 15-minute city concept creeping into corporate strategy.
In a way, yes. The trend is moving toward internationally standardized, serviced office facilities that are accessible anywhere. Whether it's a bustling district like Rama III or a strategic industrial corridor like the EEC, the standard has to be the same.
That word standardized is key, isn't it? If I'm that global manager we talked about, I don't want surprises. I don't want quirky. I want to know the Wi-Fi is fast, the coffee is decent, and the printer works.
Uncertainty is the enemy of productivity. When you enter a new market, you have enough variables to deal with. Customs, cultural barriers, supply chain delays. You don't want to be worrying about your office infrastructure. IWG provides a standardized layer of reliability over a chaotic world.
It's really shifting my perspective on what an office actually is. We used to think of the office as a destination. You commute to the office. But this model suggests the office is more like a utility. It follows you. It follows the supply chain.
That's the paradigm shift. The office is no longer a static asset. It's a fluid service. And in the case of the EEC, that service is essential for unlocking the economic potential of the region. You can build all the ports and highways you want, but if you don't have the soft infrastructure, the places for people to actually sit, meet, and think, you can't maximize that investment.
So J Park Sriracha isn't just a mall with a Regus inside. It's a missing piece of the puzzle for the Eastern Economic Corridor.
Ideally, yes. It bridges the gap between the industrial reality of the region and the corporate expectations of the investors coming in.
So let's try to tie this all together for the listener. We have a new premium workspace launching in a very unexpected place, a Japanese-themed community mall in Chonburi.
Right, a strategic move by Synergy Spaces and IWG to capture the demand from the Eastern Economic Corridor.
It offers high-end specs, 120 workstations, private offices, but wrapped in a lifestyle environment that promotes well-being and retention, specifically catering to the Japanese expat community and other foreign investors.
And the market is voting with its wallet. 30% occupancy locked in a year in advance, with 80% projected very soon after.
Which proves that the center of gravity for business is shifting outward, away from the capital and toward the actual engines of industry.
Exactly.
It really leaves us with a big question about the future of our cities, doesn't it?
What's that?
Well, for decades, the central business district was king. If you weren't in the CBD, you weren't a serious player. But if premium workspaces are successfully thriving in cultural community malls and industrial corridors, if the best office is no longer downtown but wherever the work actually is, does this signal the end of CBD dominance?
It's a provocative thought. Are we seeing the flattening of the corporate map? If I can have a headquarters-grade experience next to a shipping port, why pay the premium for downtown rent and sit in 2 hours of traffic?
Yeah. Exactly. Are we moving to a world where the headquarters is just a hub for ceremony and the real work happens in these high-end outposts?
The data from Chonburi certainly suggests we might be. The geography of work is definitely flattening out.
A fascinating shift, and one we'll definitely keep watching as Synergy Spaces rolls out their next locations. That's all for today's deep dive into the changing face of the workspace in Thailand.
It's been a pleasure unpacking this with you.
And thanks to you for listening. Next time you're stuck in traffic on your way to the city center, just remember, somewhere in Chonburi, someone is walking out of their office into a Japanese garden for lunch. Something to think about. See you next time.